welcome back to Chelley&Nay, where you know when we're on,
it's poppin'.
Today we are doing a Tea Time Tuesday. I think that's what we're gonna call it from now on.
I think so. Sounds pretty cute. We love our alliteration, so let's go.
Definitely love. Before we get into it, we got these matching mugs, these cuties.
Lame.
Chelley&Nay. We got them kind of as a gift for my birthday-ish, but it was a gift for the two of us.
Yeah.
And they were made by Home Sweet Kindie. So shout out to y'all. And I will put the link in the description below. Also, there's more. Like what? Hit the bell if you nasty and
tell your besties. Okay. Guys, like how actually cute is that?
Super cute.
We feel for real now that we have some memorabilia.
And it's funny because in the last one, Nay and I were talking about getting matching mugs, but we are so happy that we have these now. And yeah, this is gonna be a regular thing, guys, once a week, Tea Time Tuesday. So you guys need to always tell us what y'all want to hear from us. What should we discuss? Because the last one we did was kind of just us being passionate that day, and we really just wanted to discuss overcoming our fears and self-doubt. But this time we put on our Instagram asking all of you, what would you guys like us to discuss? And we did get a few good topics.
Yeah, we got some great topics. We're gonna do one for this segment, of course.
So the topic that we'll be discussing today, which you guys probably already read in the title, is self-motivation. We came up with 3 surefire tips that we know work for us, and hopefully they'll work for you guys, to becoming self-motivated.
But before we get into it, y'all, you already know what it is. Like, comment, subscribe.
Hit the bell if you nasty. And don't forget to
tell your besties. Of course. You guys actually have been telling your besties, I think.
Yeah, we can kind of see it. It's coming. Something's happening.
Thank you guys for the support thus far. You're the realest.
So before we get into our 3 tips, we wanted to start with what self-motivated actually means. So the definition of self-motivated is this: motivated to do or achieve something because of one's own enthusiasm or interest without needing pressure from others. And we feel that that just needed to be stated before we even get into this, because if you don't know what something is, then how are you going to work towards it?
So the first one is fix your attitude.
Please fix it. How we can start to do this is positive self-talk. A lot of the times, you know, we'll say, oh, I hate myself, or I can't do this, or I suck at this, or, you know, that's negative self-talk. So let's replace that with positive self-talk. I can do this. I look good today. Just compliment yourself. It really does help, because you'll start to build your own self-worth and you won't look for it in others.
We're always willing to give other people love, so just give yourself love too, and tell yourself you can do it. It's as easy as that, and not that it's an easy thing to do, but it is really easy to actually feed your mind with positive thoughts. Why shouldn't you?
Yeah, and it all starts with that. It starts with the positive self-talk.
That's the root of it. So if you don't have the foundation of actually loving yourself and giving yourself those words of encouragement, then the following steps aren't even going to be able to take place, because it's not going to be what's really resonating, if that makes sense. So
you didn't plant the seed.
Precise.
We touched on this a little bit in our overcoming your fears and self-doubt. Pretend you're speaking to a loved one or someone you really care about. How would you speak to them? Would you say, oh, you suck, you can't do this, you can't do that? No, you would motivate them. So those motivating factors and those motivating words that you would speak to someone else that you love or care about, start saying it to yourself. The last point is focus/meditate. Focusing or meditating doesn't mean you have to sit there and it's not that. Meditating is not the same for everybody.
I've even heard from some people who have meditated before that they've left their body, or that they've fallen asleep because they were in such a deep state of peacefulness and stillness that they essentially went to their happy place by accident, I guess you could say. But I actually hate when people say that, oh, like, find your happy place. It's annoying kind of sometimes, especially if you're in that mood where you're like, oh my god, everything's hard right now, I don't know what to do, I don't know how to feel, whatever. But it does help to visualize what that place of peace is for you, and to do what you have to do to get there. For me, it's really just being still, physically and mentally. That's how I perform my meditation. It's really just being quiet, trying to empty my mind as much as possible and not fidget. So that's kind of what it looks like for me, and that's how I get to my place of peace and tranquility, basically. Again, that's going to look and feel different for everyone, but the point is to focus.
Right, and that's kind of the point that we always try to make, is that you need to find what works for you. It's gonna look different for everybody, and the way you do that is just by spending time with yourself overall, and just being kind to yourself and treating yourself well, and everything will kind of fall into place from there. But you just need to make it a practice. It can't just be one time and say, oh well, I give up then because it didn't work. So
absolutely. Don't get frustrated with yourself, because you might even say, okay, my form of meditation is going to be this today, and it doesn't work, and then you want to give up, but try something else.
And that's the thing, it doesn't have to be the same every day. Mine's not the same every day. Yours is not the same every day.
Not really.
Sometimes we do it for 5 minutes a day. Last night I just did it for 5 minutes and I knocked out. Some days, for example, like if we do yoga or something like that, it'll be 30 minutes to an hour. Like, it just depends. It doesn't have to be this long thing. If you just sit somewhere for a couple minutes and focus, just simply focus and be still, like you were saying, you will feel such a big difference that you probably won't even believe. It might take you longer to get there, so it won't be 5 minutes, but once you've got that practice and you've done it so many times, it'll start to come naturally to you.
Yeah, agreed. Agreed. So our second point is be realistic.
So one of the things you can do to be realistic is create a schedule for yourself. Again, a schedule is going to look different for everybody depending on what you have to do in your day, depending on your lifestyle. Do you have kids? Do you not have kids? Are you single? Are you in a relationship? It's going to look different for everyone, but create a schedule that works for you and that's realistic for you. For example, set an alarm at a reasonable time to wake up in the morning. What we do is we place our alarm across the room so that we actually have to get up and go turn it off. So at that point, you're up. For us anyways, when we're up, we're up. And obviously nobody's gonna wanna lay there and listen to the most annoying sound ever. So, and that's the other thing too, don't make your alarm something nice and like something that
magical.
You enjoy.
Yeah.
Make it the most annoying sound ever.
It needs to be loud and obnoxious so you can get out of that bed.
And from there, just schedule. Make sure you have breakfast. That's a big thing. We're big on health and nutrition and being active and exercise, all that stuff. Make sure you incorporate those things in your day. And I know everybody's gonna say, well, I don't have time, I don't have this, I don't have that. Well, you need to make time. Like we said before, there's 24 hours in a day, so find the time that works for you. Again, it does not have to be this whole thing where, oh, if I don't have an hour to spare, I can't do it. It doesn't matter. 5 minutes. Schedule your eating times, plan your meals. It'll take just a little bit extra effort and a little bit more of your time, but the result is gonna be amazing.
With having a schedule and planning out your day, it just also gives a little bit more structure too. So planning and scheduling certain things out in your day will also make you feel like you're accomplishing something. And you definitely don't have to feel accomplished every day. That's not to be like every single minute of every day you have to be like doing something, like squashing all of your goals. Nothing is going to happen like that every single day for you, but it's also going to give you that good, happy feeling that you're working toward your goals and you're reaching them, you're starting to reach them. And I think that's also where the positive self-talk is gonna come in. You're gonna say, hey, I didn't completely squash this goal today, but I'm on my way there because I did A, B, and C that has to do with this goal. And then you're gonna be proud of yourself and you're going to praise yourself the way you deserve to be praised. So again, that positive self-talk goes hand in hand with having a schedule, looking at the schedule and being like, okay, like I had 10 things on the schedule, I only got 8 done, but that's still 8. Like, you know what I mean? It's just to remind yourself that you're doing a great job. So yeah,
that's the other thing too. It'll become that not I only did this or I just did this. It'll be I did that. You know, you'll change that. And again, that's that positive self-talk and that different way of looking at it. If one of your loved ones had something to accomplish, you wouldn't say, oh, you only did that, or you just did that, or you're just this, or you're just that. You don't say only and just. I hate. Absolutely hate. If we hear people saying, oh, I'm just this, like, oh, I'm just a dog walker or something like that.
What
like,
are you talking about?
I'm just using that as an example, it just came in my head. But don't say just.
Yeah.
Change the way you phrase things.
Exactly. Why is it just? What makes it a just? Like, that is a huge...
I am a dog walker.
Yeah.
I am.
Girl.
Another way to be realistic is satisfy yourself. And by that, I don't mean anything weird. I just mean what satisfies you deeply in your soul. What satisfies you? Stop watching and start doing. I know a lot of people feel that they need to watch these motivational speakers, but in reality, you don't need to. And this is not a stab at anybody who's a motivational speaker or anything like that. I totally respect what they do, because a lot of people do, again, feel that they need that, and it does help them. I'm not saying it does not help, but who I'm speaking to are people who they find that doesn't work. Listening to somebody else motivate you or talk about their success story, because I've heard a lot of those motivational speeches and it's just not something that works for us, I think either of us. And that's why we are so excited to talk about self-motivation and becoming self-motivated, because for us, being motivated comes from within. Nobody can make you motivated. Nobody can make you get up and go make breakfast. Nobody can make you lose weight. Nobody can do it except you. It all starts with you. And that's what unmotivated people need to understand, is that it's not gonna come from anybody else. Even us just talking right now, we're not experts. We just talk about what works for us, and we just try to be as real as possible with you guys, because we notice that a lot of the time what people are thinking, we're saying. We're not saying anything that nobody has come up with already or thought of already. It's just what works for us. That's what I'm trying to say. Stop watching, start doing. Find what satisfies you. Like we were talking about it before, and okay, your goal is to buy a house, let's say. Well, that's not gonna happen today or tomorrow. That's gonna take time. Some people even thinking of the long stretch or thinking of the journey to get to their final destination or their main goal or whatever it is, that unmotivates people automatically. That just makes them feel like, oh, I can't do it. So stop thinking so far ahead. Let's start with little goals. Satisfy yourself. What in this room would you feel so good if it was changed? For example, I would feel really good if my books were organized over there. That would really satisfy me. That would give me a feeling of goodness and accomplishment. So let me do that. And don't think about anything else. Don't think, oh, I have to do this after that, after this, after that. Just focus on that one thing. Some people need to go that simplified. Some people can start with lists of, okay, I have a list of 5 things I need to do today, 10 things I need to do today, 20 things I need to do today. Great, that works for them. But if that doesn't work for you, start with one simple thing. Satisfy yourself. What satisfies you? Because that is where you're gonna start to find your motivators. Because some people don't even know what their motivators are. And that's the way you can start to figure them out, is just by satisfying yourself. Figure out what makes you happy, what makes you feel accomplished, what makes you feel like a load is taken off of your chest or your shoulders, right?
Such a simple yet effective thing you can do, and it's nothing unrealistic. It just starts with the small basics, and you know, it helps you develop who you are and what you want.
And our last little point under our umbrella of being realistic is to treat yourself. Stop punishing yourself. For me, when I first started to better myself, I came up with this thing where I would give myself something to look forward to every day. For me, it was daily. Some people can do weekly, monthly, whatever it is, bi-weekly, but for me it was every day, because I really needed to get out of a dark place. So Mondays, for example, would be movie day. I would have movies on Monday, and that would be my treat for the day. So no matter what I had to accomplish that day at work, at school, whatever it was, I know that I had a movie to look forward to at the end of the day. And same thing with Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Every day I gave myself something, whether it was my favorite meal or whether it was, oh, I'm gonna see this person that day, so that's the one thing I can look forward to at the end of the day, whatever it is. And the other thing I train myself to do, and we talk about this so much, no matter how anxious I'll feel about something that's happening at work, I can always remind myself that the day's gonna be over. Time is ticking throughout the day, so no matter what I have to do that day, there's gonna be a time where I'm going home. Things do happen, don't get me wrong, but for the most part, when I'm very anxious about something, I remind myself, and we remind each other that, hey, it's gonna be over at 3 o'clock. And we'll say, oh, that's not that bad, I just have to survive till 3 and it's good. You know, so there's that thought that I always remind myself, in addition to treating myself.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't beat yourself up and punish yourself for treating yourself, because the point of treating yourself is to remind yourself that you deserve to be loved in whatever way you're giving yourself the love.
And just accept yourself, just accept it.
Exactly.
That's the point.
Let it go.
Yeah, that's the point of treating yourself, right? Like, it's a treat, hello. It shouldn't be a negative experience.
Yeah, factuals. So our third and final point is set yourself up for success.
As we mentioned again in our other video, surround yourself with like-minded people. You'll be surprised how much that helps. Those are the people that are gonna help you be self-motivated. And what I mean by that is, if you're hanging out with people who are doing things that you don't like or you don't agree with, why would that motivate you? That's not gonna do anything for you. If you're surrounding yourself with negative people, get rid of, like, no. Surround yourselves with like-minded people. If you have goals that you wanna achieve, and these like-minded people have goals that they want to achieve, certain things that they're doing, you will start looking at yourself and think, well, I want to do that, I can do that. You'll start to think, and that will become your, it's not that they're motivating you, you're thinking to yourself, well, I could do that too. If they're doing it, I can do it. Not to negate what the person's doing or anything like that, but it will put in your mind, this person's doing something amazing, I can do that too. You know, and that again will kickstart your motivation, self-motivation, because nobody else can make you do anything.
You are also allowed to be inspired by other people, but it also does set the tone that this is a very realistic goal. At the end of the day, we're all also human. We all start, for the most part anyways, we all start with the same tools, I want to say. So
beautiful.
Remember, it's also the will to keep going. It's up to you to keep yourself going.
I wouldn't surround myself with people who are in competition all the time. That's just not healthy. I wouldn't surround myself with somebody who's always trying to one up. Everything's a race or everything's competitive. There's a difference between that person's doing something amazing, I can do that too, and that person's doing something amazing, I need to do that. Otherwise, I'm not gonna look a certain way, or I'm not gonna be this, I'm not gonna be that. There's room in this world for everyone, in every genre of everything. Not everything has to be a competition. In reality, yes, we know that everything out there is competitive, but again, if you're surrounding yourself with like-minded people, and those are your friends or your family or your loved ones, it's not gonna be a competition. It's, hey, there's enough room in this game for the two of us, and we're gonna uplift each other to get there. And again, that will only help your self-motivation. You will feel more self-worth. You will feel amazing. Like, I don't know what else to say about it.
No, that's pretty much it. How would you not feel amazing being, you know, in a group of people that are gonna be like, you did that, girl, keep going. You know what I mean? Because that's what
we call boys girls
too.
Yeah,
you know?
it's just the way we talk.
Yeah, so
my dad likes that. We'll be like, hey girl, he's like, hey sweetie.
Yeah.
Another way to set yourself up for success is to invest in yourself, people. Invest in yourself. And that doesn't always mean financially. A lot of the time, yes, it is. But what's wrong with that? You need to invest in yourself if you want to get to where you want to be. You need to invest time into yourself. We were talking about focusing, meditation. You need to invest the time to do that. You need to invest the time to study your craft, or you need to invest the time to become better at what it is you want to do, or, you know, just invest.
Chelley basically said it perfectly, but it's just to prioritize yourself.
That is the biggest word of the day.
It is great to help and give and share and love and be there for people. I will never take that away. There's so much beauty in seeing people offer up so much of themselves to other people, but just don't forget that you have a life to live too, and that your dreams and your goals matter just as much as the people you're helping. Make sure you give that time to yourself, that patience to yourself, that love and understanding. Keep learning and keep growing. We did touch on this in our last video, but the right people will understand.
It could also be, hey, you're saving for something, so you don't want to go out and party, and you don't want to spend money on food, and you don't want to spend money on shopping for clothes that you don't need, or whatever it is, because you are trying to save and financially invest in yourself. Those things are all important, and just remember that in the long run, it will pay off. Invest in yourself in all the ways. And last but not least, as corny as it sounds, it is the truest thing we will ever do. Believe in yourself. Please believe in yourself. Because if you're gonna do all of the things that we just mentioned and not believe it's working, there's no point. I'm sorry to be blunt, but there's no point. If you are gonna do something and you don't believe it's actually working, or something good is actually gonna come of it, what is the point? What are you doing? What are you doing it for? Because then it's not for you. If you don't believe in yourself, it's not for you, and it's not gonna work.
Absolutely. Let's say you're advertising your new business. Believe in it enough for yourself and everyone else, because even if people aren't riding for it right now, the fact that you push so hard for what you believe in, people are going to believe it eventually. Believe in yourself, believe in your craft, and believe in it enough for everyone else. You did something and the one person you wanted to see it didn't give you the zhuzh that you wanted to hear back from it. Don't hate, be like, that's okay. I still rock with my work. Like I'm still into it. I still believe in it. So I'm gonna keep pushing until it's just doing its own thing. It lives and breathes on its own, you know? It's
beautiful.
Because it's gonna get there, but you have to be the heart and soul. Sorry guys, but you really have to be the heart and soul of it until it moves on its own.
We've reached that point and just in time. So let's just recap. Tip number 1, fix your attitude. Tip number 2, be realistic. And tip number 3, set yourself up for success. And if you don't remember all the points that we went over under all those 3 umbrellas, just DM us, let us know, rewatch this video, whatever you gotta do. If you have questions, let us know, message us. We're here for you, really and truly we are. Please remember, we're not experts. We are just discussing what you guys want us to discuss. And we're just talking about what works for us. We're not perfect.
And everything is a work in progress. Take time with yourself and be patient with yourself. That is so important, to be patient and love yourself as you figure yourself out.
Right.
Because real life is hard and you're gonna have to find what works for you, otherwise it's gonna be sucky.
Don't forget that you deserve to take that time, invest that time, invest whatever into yourself to figure yourself out. Hope you took something positive from this video and you're able to put it towards yourself in your life, because nobody can motivate you except for you. We're just here to remind you. That's all we're doing.
We thank you so much for giving us this great topic to dive into. Shout out to the person who left that for us.
Yes, thank you. It's always weird to close out these videos because I feel like we have so much to say. To be honest, we can talk about this stuff for hours. We can. So if you ever want to chat back and forth about anything, we're here because we have a lot more to say about it. But for the sake of your sanity, our sanity, your boredom, we try to keep it concise.
Keep those topics coming, you guys. We're gonna be continuing with this segment once a week, every Tuesday.
Tea Time Tuesday.
Tea Time Tuesdays. If you made it to the end of the video, please give us a huge like, drop a comment, and subscribe.
Don't forget to hit the bell if you're nasty, and don't forget to
tell your besties, guys. Thank you for telling them like you have been. Keep it up. You're the best.
Later, Kat.